The next presenter will be looking at the area of student enterprise and trying to engage students with business. Els, one of the nice things about working on a European project is working with people like Els and finding out about the great work she does at the Boca Chamber of Commerce in East Flanders. Els has previously worked at the Economic Council of East Flanders and the European Association for Vocational Training. Now, she was educated at Tsinghua University. That's what it says on LinkedIn. Now, I never knew that. We spent many hours drinking cloudy beer in various European cities, and I never knew that fact until I was at LinkedIn yesterday, so that's really interesting. Okay. Today, Els is going to be talking about one of the activities which VOCA has been involved in as part of the Open Innovation Project. So, Els Delaere.
Now, don't worry, I will not go on in Chinese. So, it's been a long time since I practiced it, and I must say it has gone very remote in my brain for a moment. So let's switch to English. Thank you very much for inviting me here. And my name is Els, and I'm the Innovation and Incubation Manager of the Flemish Chamber of Commerce. So let's see how this works. Right. Okay. So just to show you where we are, I always like to know people where I come from. East Flanders is the second from the left. It's not Brussels, not Bruges, not Antwerp, but the capital is Ghent. And of course, there's some area missing. This is only Flanders, Wallonia. Of course, Belgium looks different than that. So we have eight chambers of commerce. Some of them are existing since 1700s, and they joined to be VOCA, which is the network of the Flemish companies. So, founded in 2004, we have 17,000 members. We are private, independent, and we get our income from membership fees, services we render, training we provide, and European projects we run. Now, for our Chamber of Commerce in Ghent, we are totally independent from the other chambers. We can do what we like, in fact. So we have put our focus on competence centers such as innovation, entrepreneurship, labor market education, talent training, sustainable business, and internationalization. We are with 50 employees, and we have about 3,000 of these 17,000 members, of which most of the largest companies in Flanders are, like ArcelorMittal, Volvo. So we have lots of companies come from logistics, as we have the Port of Ghent, steel, automotive, food, biotechnology, etc., etc. So this frames in what we do in international projects. So we have already some track record on promoting entrepreneurship for different target groups, 40 plus women. Increasing labor mobility, we are also advisors of the European Employment Services. We have a big focus on transnational internship exchange. Cross-border marketing and export, of course, is one of our main jobs. Internationalization, CSR, energy, environment. These are the topics of what we do in international projects. And, of course, the last one, innovation and incubation, of which open innovation is one of the projects. So what do we do in this framework? We have an incubator support. We support about 200 starting businesses who have, it's called BRIO, Bright Young Entrepreneurs, and they have a 2 years guiding program with us. We do startup bootcamps, seminars, masterclasses, and the Mega Brainstorm that I will tell you more about later. We showcase innovative companies. We have a pop-up shop recently with yes, I have brought some props with me to show what our innovative startups come up with. And we have an open innovation learning network. So this is just to show the Flanders landscape of all different partners in innovation. Some of them are universities, university colleges, but also knowledge competence centers and knowledge pools. Now, the Mega Brainstorm. Why did we start the Mega Brainstorm? Because we find in Flanders the number of new entrepreneurs is extremely low. I think it's the second lowest in Europe. Because our social security is so good that nobody takes a risk. I mean, we pay the second highest taxes to cover us for all misfortune that can happen to us, so nobody takes the step to start their own business. And now government is funding to enhance entrepreneurship. And I must say Ghent is really leading this, because we have 70,000 students on a population of 230,000, so that's huge. They all started last week, so we have no space in buses, trams, nothing, bikes everywhere, I mean. And so they have started a program of giving 5,000 cash to any starter that is going to set up their business in Ghent. Of course, they have to do some business plan and everything, but they have started this initiative to stimulate entrepreneurship. We also do it, of course, in higher education. So there's a lot of attention to entrepreneurship, but it's not embedded or not enough in the courses, and often too late. So we also try to stimulate it at secondary school level, starting with mini companies already from secondary schools. Also, if you look at universities spin-out, spin-off, it's very important for them to get the technology towards the economic field, but it's good for the image, the revenue. But of course, it's very difficult because they need a dream team. The engineer is not always the marketeer or the person with finances. They need persistence, and there's also, again, there's the risk aversion. So all these elements have made us decide to set up Mega Brainstorms with students. It's the 6th year now. Next week, or the 8th of October, we are doing the 6th edition. And what does it take? It takes 200 students from higher education, various disciplines. There's from ICT, SME management, engineering, etc. We have 10 business cases from companies, startup companies, or already set companies who have been working for a long time. We have a pitching contest, a professional jury from banks, Deloitte, for instance, HR experts, and telecom companies. We have successful starters testimonies, a practical test, and the last two things are the most important: distraction, interaction, beer, and crackers. Otherwise, they don't show up. I'm going to skip this because it will take too much time. So we use a tool called TrendSpot, and it was based on a trend analysis as added value for innovation study made from one of our university colleges in Ghent. It generates 80 new ideas in 40 minutes, and it uses 5 different brainstorm techniques, such as, I don't know if you know any of them, brainwriting, superhero, impact wheel. Everything is to do with the consequences of the trends. And then you have a first order consequence, a second order consequence, positive, negative. So you have to map all your ideas on a big piece of paper. Trends can be Pamper Planets. I don't know if you know that trends. I don't know if you are very familiar with the trends. You have trends from society, from the consumers, and from markets. So Pamper Planet means that you want to go back to your childhood where you don't have anything to worry and you want to lose control. Feminization, with women climbing up ladders, having equal pay, hopefully. I think in Belgium the equal pay day is still some 4 or 5 months later than men. Urbanization, of course, the trend that more people live in towns than in rural areas. Garbage wars, instead of shipping everything to Africa, think of innovating solutions to deal with waste. Small is beautiful. I mean, local products means go back to your local area. Micro initiatives. The experience economy is where you want to have fun. In fact, in everything that you do. Instant economy, everything has to go faster. Kids rule, of course, because the biggest market for consumers is for children. Smart materials, well, textile, for instance. System reboot is also going back to basic with natural fibers and everything. And then the protein hunt, for instance, is looking at insects instead of cows to eat, I must say. Huh? So these are some of the trends that we play with. Cases come from companies. For instance, there are producing companies. There also are services deliveries. They deliver services. Some of them are producing food trays or reflecting clothes. Others are consultants or even an interior design shop. That were the cases from last year. So they ask also, if they deliver the case, that we look at critical success factors. So they want their product to be cheap, or they want to provide an extra service. They want to solve a problem. They want it to be original. So taking in mind the trends, the cases, the success factors, they have to come up with a cocktail of the most innovative, feasible products. So they start clustering their ideas and come to a judge to pitch their winning ideas. They are being judged on the contents, the creativity, fluency, commercial flair, and charisma. So they also have to appoint in their group somebody who can present that the best. Some fantastic ideas have come up of that, like a multifunctional tray for people in nursing homes, that they have a remote control holder or an iPad where they can look at the weather or look at the TV programs or have some card games. A smart fruit basket where you have different compartments according to the fruits that is in there. A cooling system, it chases away the fruit flies, everything you can come up with. Or mobile workspaces where you put offices in containers, you just bring them together and different shapes, and then you have no traffic jam anymore. You don't have to have any building permits or whatever. So these are some of the examples that the students come up with. Now, they have to do practical tests, and this one was last year's. So would anybody have an idea what, if you fold this, what object will you get? Close. I give you a hint. So they already start folding.
Is it danger the floor is wet?
No, it's to sit on. So they have been folding their own chairs. And some of them are not folding it correctly. So and makes their neighbors weep with laughter, or perhaps they are scared to go to the same thing. So this year's is this one. So they get this. I don't know if you can see it properly. It's all these different shapes, and they have to turn into this. So, any idea what it can be used for? Yeah, it's a pack pen, they call it, to hold your pens. So it's very robust because I took it with me in my suitcase and everything. So that was also invented by one of the startups that we have put in our pop-up shop, for instance. So that's it. It's a very brief testimony of what we do with the Mega Brainstorm. Why am I here if you talk about open innovation? Because as a chamber, our first clients are companies, but we look at students to help the companies innovate and also to become new entrepreneurs. Thank you very much.